Hey everybody, it's Allie, and welcome to my Y&R chat for Sunday, January 30th. Oh, what a lovely Parisian break from the world. Lily and Kane had a French-themed getaway this week at the athletic club. It was strawberries and cream, it was rose petals on the bed, it was sexy lingerie. It was a wonderful memory montage that we had. We got to go back and take a look at their first kiss at Jimmy's. We got to see their engagement. I had completely forgotten that Kane put Lily's engagement ring into a fortune cookie. That was cute. I forgot how romantic that was. And it was nice to see it again. We got to relive a lot of moments. Their wedding together, the birth of their children. It was really wonderful, really quaint, really romantic, and then bam! The doo-doo hit the fan, my friends, and let me tell you, the doo-doo was all over the place. The doo-doo was on the walls, it was on the ceiling, it was all over Sophia, it was all over Tucker, and most of all, saddest of all, it was all over Lily. I felt so sorry for Lily this week, and Crystal Khalil totally blew me away. She did an amazing job taking Lily's character from the height of happiness and satisfaction with her life to the depths of despair, learning that her life with Kane was built on more lies, more lies than than the lies before. So I really enjoyed her this week, and when she told Kane, I could have forgiven you if you would have just trusted me with this information, I completely, it broke my heart. It really did. I love Kane, but he messed up so big this time, and you know that that was true. You know that Lily would have forgiven him if he would have just told her the truth to begin with. That's what makes the whole thing more sad. But Kane's argument is that he was doing what he had to do. He argued that I look after my loved ones, that's what I do. When if that's his idea of looking after his loved ones, then he really dropped the ball. I love you, Kane, but Lily, the babies, the entire rest of the family all came into contact with these hardcore bad guys on several occasions. Several. And regardless of Kane's intentions, he let the bad guys into their home. And he deceived Lily about it, which is the worst of it all. Then he managed to drag Sophia down with him. Now, Sophia has a huge heart, and I see that now. It's taken me some time to warm up to her, but I really have this week. She really wanted to help Kane, and I've really grown to like her as a result of all of this. So this is the only good thing to come out of it. Well, actually, it was fantastic. Even though I'm complaining, this whole storyline is fantastic right now. I really empathize with Sophia right now because she wanted to help Kane because A, he's family, and B, somewhere in her life along the way, she got into some trouble. We don't know what it is, but someone out there helped her through it, and this was her way of paying it forward. I really can't wait to learn. I hope we learn what exactly it was that Sophia got herself into trouble. That would be interesting and would give us a little bit more insight into her character. But it was interesting to learn what her motives were, and I really identified with her wanting to help Kane for those reasons. But as much as you want to save someone who is drowning, you can never grab them from the front because they will end up dragging you right down with them. And that's exactly what happened to her. She lost everything. Sophia's job was her life. It was her entire life, and she risked it all for Kane, for her family. And she lost. It's really sad. It's really given me a whole new perspective and a whole new affection for her. Tucker was like super offended, mostly, that Blake kind of blew him off at the coffee house, and this is kind of what caused him to go and do some research. Tucker was like, oh no, you did not just blow me off. I mean, seriously, he was not having it. So he decided to go and further investigate the issue. He decided to take a look on the coffeehouse computer, and lo and behold, by accident, Tucker discovers, we'll say stumbled upon, an internet search back from October, when Kane was on the computer, of course. Tucker puts two and two together, basically, confronts Sophia with the information, and Tucker was so upset about the whole thing, I can tell you. He almost couldn't sleep with Ashley later that night. That's how upset he was upon stumbling upon this truth. So Sophia, getting back to her, she could easily have played dumb when Tucker confronted her. She didn't have to tell the truth. She could easily have let Kane take the fall for what was his problem. But she didn't. And I think that shows a lot of character for her. She went down with the sinking boat. I don't know why she did that. She didn't have to. She had already given so much to Kane. She went completely down. She wanted to save Kane in those last moments by trying to explain the situation to Tucker, and in that she ended up losing her job. And it's sad for her. Well, it looks like from the previews from next week's show that Tucker is going to force her to go out and do damage control on this situation. I don't know how she's going to do it, but hopefully for her, in the process, she will end up gaining Tucker's trust again, and Malcolm's. That we haven't even talked about what this has done to her relationship with Malcolm and the rest of the family. In trying to save her family, she kept some pretty big secrets from them. It's given me a new perspective on Sophia. And I really, really like her now. I just really do. Even if Sophia is able to regain Tucker's trust, we still have Kane, who's in the same situation times 1,000,000. And I just don't know if Lily is going to be able to forgive Kane ever, fully. Even if she forgives him some, I don't think she's going to forgive him fully for these huge lies. That's assuming, of course, that Neil and Malcolm don't string him up first, because both of those guys are really just waiting to get their hands around his neck. You know that's the truth. It's crazy, you guys. It's crazy. It's good. This is the first, time in a long time that I've just felt so super psyched about this entire storyline. And you know what? Kane didn't even have a chance to get to the part where he tells Lily that Colin is his father and the head bad guy, and the cherry on top, that he is letting Jill get dangerously involved with Colin. That just blows my mind. How is that, Kane, for looking out for the ones that you love? You knowingly are letting Jill get involved with the worst of the worst of the worst. It was time for the truth to come out. I'm so glad that it did. So glad that it did. And the Jill and Colin situation, I don't know why we held off on letting that whole thing blow up. I guess just because there's so much else going to be going on with Catherine's concern about the relationship. Because the whole thing with Jill and Colin is very, very sad. Jill makes me sad. She wants love. Jill just really wants to love and to be loved genuinely. And this is a woman who everything in her life, every step along the way has been a struggle. And it's been so long since Jill has felt any real romantic connection to anyone. And so because of that, she's just falling for Colin's game, hook, line, sinker. It's very hard to watch. Very hard to watch because it's putting her in a position of just being totally in opposition with everyone that loves her, that actually genuinely does love her. In Jill's mind, she is the outcast in this entire family, and nobody really understands her, nobody really loves her, nobody really supports her. That's how she thinks. That's how she's almost trained herself to think. And so it really hurts her that these people in her life that are pretending to love her cannot, in her mind, pretending to love her, that these people can't share in the joy that she's feeling. You know? It's hard to watch Jill make a fool out of herself. It really is. Especially when she does it so often. But Jill has become a fool for love, and it is very difficult to see. If I didn't know that Jill were being scammed, I would be in total support of her. It's, you know, the way she was talking with Catherine and Lauren, and everyone is trying to talk her out of this, and it's Jill, and in her mind it's Jill versus the world. And it has never occurred to her that she might be wrong. Even Esther sees right through Colin's whole shtick. If Esther can see through it, then why can't Jill? And now, on top, this just makes me really despise Colin. Because on top of deceiving Jill in this way, because all of this, you know, sympathy that I'm having for Jill right now, and sadness that I'm having for Jill right now, it's because of Colin. Colin has instigated this entire thing, and on top of fooling Jill and playing with her heart and making a fool of her, on top of all that, now Colin is knowingly separating her from the people that love her. And that's just the cherry on top. That's just the icing on the top of his whole cake. He is manipulative, and he's just icky. Well, Victor may hate Adam, but not enough, apparently, to let Sharon rot in jail over a crime that she didn't commit. So, were you guys surprised that Victor managed to cough up the cash to get Sharon released from prison? He had a pang of conscience, maybe? I mean, after all, Victor was the one who unleashed Patty upon Genoa City and everyone in Genoa City, resulting in Colleen's death. And Victor was the one who framed Adam for murder, resulting in Sky's death and setting this whole chain of events into motion. So maybe letting Faith grow up without her mother on account of him was just too much for him to bear. Apparently that's where the mustache draws the line, I guess. It doesn't even make sense that Sharon would want to kill Sky. You know, I'm surprised that the authorities are pursuing this angle because it doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't fit. She doesn't have a motive. At the time, when they were on the volcano, Sharon needed to prove Adam's innocence. She needed to prove this guy was alive, not kill her. That's why it just doesn't make any sense. So a partial audio recording surfaced this week confirming what Sharon basically already told the police, that she had had an argument with Skye. It's not really that new of information, you know? And so now we're reliving basically the past month all over again, only this time Adam and Sharon have reversed roles. And Jack and Phyllis, same thing, once again, offering to help. Now, it's good. I still think it's good. The moment of the week, I know you guys are going to agree with me on this. The moment of the week is Sharon sitting in jail behind bars with Phyllis on the other side, basically rattling the cage. And Sharon looks at Phyllis deadpan and says, "If I were going to kill someone, Phyllis, it would have been you." Dang! That was great. Ugh. Awesome moment this week. And it was true. I mean, not only was that a dramatic moment, but it was also the moment where the bells started going off in Phyllis's head and she realized that, you know what? For all of the things that Sharon is, she isn't a murderer. And it's true. If anybody would have pushed Sharon's buttons to the point of murder, it would have been Phyllis. It wouldn't have been Skye. It's not sensical that Sharon would have even committed this crime, but I like that it does kind of force enemies to work together toward a common goal, getting Sharon off of the hook. It's funny because Phyllis has like really mixed opinions about Sharon, because on the one hand, Phyllis is always saying that Sharon is so weak. She's too weak to pull this whole thing off. She's the damsel in distress. And on the other hand, she acts like a lot of times that Sharon is manipulative. You know, she's a man-hungry, conniving manipulator. So which is it, Phyllis? How exactly do you feel about Sharon? It's one and all, I suppose. But either way, it doesn't really matter because Phyllis claims that she doesn't want her rivalry with Sharon to end up like Victor's rivalry. Why can't I say that word? Rivalry with Jack. She doesn't want the relationship that she and Sharon has, although it's strained, she doesn't want to turn into this ongoing historical feud like the one that Jack has with Victor, which is probably a really freaking good idea. So Phyllis and Jack have both agreed to help get Sharon off the hook. Meanwhile, Jack and Adam have this investment deal going on the side. I'm not exactly sure where it's headed, but again, it feels like a repeat of a storyline we've already seen, because now it's Adam and Jack working together using the Newman Fund to get back at Victor when last fall it was Victor and Jack using the Newman Fund to get back at Adam. So it's just everything, it's the same thing all over again. It's like, you know, but only different people are filling the different spots. I don't know. I think that everyone involved here is going to have their hands full because it's going to be a matter of, number one, clearing Sharon's name, and number two, helping Sharon keep custody of Faith. It's going to be legal battles out the wazoo for a long time for everyone for a while. Because Nick tried really hard this week to reach out to Sharon and to kind of avoid this whole custody issue altogether. And this wasn't the first time, by the way, that Nick has reached out to Sharon to try to come to a rational, agreeable solution, a compromise. Not the first time. But Nick reached out to Sharon and he tried to bargain with her. As much as Nick does not want Sharon to be with Adam, I believe that Nick's motives are not about trying to keep Sharon away from faith. I genuinely think that Nick's motives are about trying to keep Adam away from faith. And can you blame him? I can't. I really can't. And Nick said to Sharon this week, if you were in my shoes, you would be doing the exact same thing. And that is the truth. Well, all good things must come to an end. It's been really fun. It's been a fun diversion watching Nick and Diane sneak around. It's been fun. So Diane came over to Nick's house this early in the week. She walks in the front door, not realizing that Victor's there, and just kind of pops into their whole relationship mode without even realizing that Victor was in the room. And it was such a fun and awkward final moment. It was like, we're not sleeping together. Who said anything about us sleeping together? We are not sleeping together, okay? It was good. It was a nice little, I guess, finale to this relationship, because Nick broke it off. What do you guys think about that? He abruptly just said, it's done, you're a great gal. But it's the ride is over. I guess that Nick is just taking stock right now of his life. He's trying to get his priorities straight. He has a lot going on. And I think he just realized that even though it was a fun diversion, that it wasn't the right thing to do. It wasn't right for him, because the truth is, Nick still loves Sharon. There's no two ways about it. Nick still loves Sharon. He's always gonna love Sharon. Marrying Phyllis didn't stop him from loving Sharon, so the whole Adam thing isn't gonna stop him from loving Sharon either. Nick made references actually twice this week to having a sense of feeling like Nick and Sharon should have been, that he and Sharon should have been together by now. Like in an alternate universe where the whole Sharon-Adam thing didn't happen, he and Sharon would have been remarried and rebuilding their family by now. And he mentioned it like twice this week. So I really think that that's what's weighing on Nick's mind right now. I don't think there's any two ways about it. He loves Sharon, and I think he's still holding out hope that the two of them are going to get together again someday. If Adam is truly the heartless monster that everyone has made him out to be, then you know what? His true colors are going to show through, and Sharon's going to see that, and the situation will resolve itself. So if that's what the truth is, then then the situation will resolve itself. And I think that Diane was way more hurt than she wanted to let on by the fact that Nick was breaking it off. I started getting the vibe last week that somebody was gonna get hurt. It was just too convenient, and it was moving a little fast. It all happened so fast, and then it was just moving so fast. I started getting the vibe that somebody was gonna get hurt, but I really thought that it was gonna be Nick. I thought that Nick maybe was getting a little bit too into this whole thing, and that Diane was just looking for a little something on the side. And maybe that's true. Maybe that's exactly why Nick called it off, because he found himself actually getting into it and being interested in a relationship with Diane. That could be it. But as much as Diane tries to act like she's going to take this pragmatic approach to love, I think that she was hurt, and I think that she wants love just as much as anyone else does. So after Nick calls off the affair, Diane goes back to the main house where Victor's hanging out. They work on some blueprints. They schedule dinner with Chef. Diane fetches his glasses, his slippers, maybe a newspaper. they have a nice little moment of tenderness where Victor kind of recognizes that she's a changed woman, and Diane recognizes that Victor is wounded right now. It was very tender, almost like two souls reaching out to one another for help. And then screeching halt. Victor and Diane kissed, and I feel like that whole tender moment was just ruined. I was screaming at my TV. It went like this. Near, 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 near. No, 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 no. No, I was not having it. I don't want Victor and Diane. I refuse. Diane actually had a moment, a shining moment of hope where she pulled away from the kiss with Victor, and she said, should I be doing this? And within moments, she just totally throws that good rationality out the window, stands there and undresses for Victor. With him just looking up at her like a hungry bulldog. and Diane's face, oh, Diane, she's standing there stripping for Victor, and this look on her face just says, I hate myself for this. Like she was a prostitute. That is totally the vibe that I got. Like she did not even want to be doing it, but she just had been thrown away by Nick, and she just wanted somebody to hold her. That she wanted somebody to find her desirable. And it had to be Victor in that moment. It was horrible. I mean, Diane claims to be this new woman. She's been saying it since she got back into town. She's supposed to be this woman with a much more mature approach to love. But the moment that she comes to town, from the very moment that she comes to town, she's thrown herself at every man who's crossed her path. Jack, Tucker, Nick, Victor. Nothing has changed, Diane. Nothing has changed. I just thank goodness that the sex between Diane and Victor was only implied, because I don't think I could have taken it. I don't think I could have watched it. Ugh. Oh, Victor, your sheets are so luxurious. My watch must have loved your sheets as much as I did. Ugh. Ick. Ick, ick, ick. And then, poor Nikki walks in for one last ditch effort to try to get Victor to give his daughter 1/10 of the attention that he's giving to developing the new east wing of his house. And without saying a word, Nikki just read right between the lines. Nikki's no fool. She knew exactly what had happened there. And that she was not the only one doing the nasty that night. just to put this into context first, I'm going to attempt to play a little clip from one of my YNR vlogs from July 12th, 2009. Okay, so this is just over a year and a half ago. So here it is. I love Deacon. Yes, girls and boys. Deacon is back onto the scene, and I'm sorry, but that man is just fine, right? Maybe I just like him bad or something, but he is just fine. So welcome Deacon to YNR. He may be a bad boy, but he's slick and savvy and sexy. So welcome Deacon. Okay, so that was then. And this is now. Deacon absolutely disgusts me. Ugh. Number one, cut his hair. It's too long. It's greased back, and it just looks gross. Number two, bulk down. Okay, I don't know if it's fat or muscle or just bloat, but he looks like a beached whale right now. It's terrible. Number three, now he has a molester mustache to go along with his used to look cool sideburns. It's so bad. It's beyond bad. It's like YNR is trying to ruin Deacon. It's like they're trying to ruin him. I love Sean Kane. He is the perfect fit for YNR. He has hunky potential, and he has a crossover history with the sister soap, Bold and the Beautiful. He has a history there. And now he is just a waste of space in a tank top. And it's sickening. Now it hurts me to see him like this when he's capable of such awesomeness. I know he is. I've seen it before. And now, every time I see him in a scene with Nikki, I just want to scream, "Get your greasy paws off of her!" You know? Stop touching her! It's just, he's disgusting. It's sickening. He's gross. He's clingy. He's clingy. And he's just plain manipulative. It's not attractive in any way, shape, or form. And now Nikki is leaving town, and who could blame her? Not that it's not, driven by Melody Thomas Scott wanting to work on other projects. But in the world of Genoa City, who could blame her for wanting to leave right now? Her family is fractured. Victor practically spits fire every single time she comes near him. And Deacon probably sniffs her panties when she isn't looking. Yes, so Victor has no problem shelling out $500,000 to get Sharon out of jail. But he can hardly be bothered to stop by and see or hold or even acknowledge his new granddaughter. As much as Victor may disagree with Victoria's choices, I just can't believe that I can't believe that this is where he is at this point in his life. After all of the lessons that he should have learned by now. This week he told Victoria that he is ashamed of her for having a child with Billy. Can you even believe that? I can't even believe that. I'm speechless. Victor should know by the way, better than anyone, that disapproval only makes the Newmans stronger, and more resolute. So, I don't know what he could be thinking. Victoria just better hope that no one finds out that her new daughter is a black market baby, because I can tell you right now that the Black Knight is going to be super quick to jump right in there and say, I told you so. He's going to be the very first one to jump in there and say, I told you so. So, Daniel has recovered his memory, and more importantly, he recognizes his daughter. I didn't even really see that coming until last week, and I'm very pleased with it. I'm very surprised and pleased that this is where we ended up, because I love the dilemma that this puts before him, and I hope we get to see more of it. I want to stretch that out just a tad, because he has this choice before him of, do I say something? Do I tell the truth and disrupt the development of this family that Billy and Victoria are building? Or do I keep it to myself and let my child be raised in a stable home until the day that I decide that I want her back? Which is probably what's going to end up happening as Daniel matures, gets a little older, gets a little more mature. He's probably going to decide that he wants to have the truth come out on that. I think it's a rough decision, but it looks like Daniel's gonna keep it all to himself for now, and I feel like he feels like the situation has given him closure. It would have been harder for him to know that his child was out there somewhere. And now at least he knows that his child is safe, and I think that makes all of the difference in the world for him. And I think it's also given him a sense of everything working out, of not knowing why something bad is happening to you at the time, but then realizing later that it led to something really, really wonderful, you know? Now, if Daniel could only realize the truth about that stupid ponytail he's been wearing. Okay, well, those are my thoughts for this week. What are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Everything is exploding. We're coming up upon February sweeps, and I know you guys got opinions, and I've been very vocal this week, so let me know what you're thinking. Leave me a comment. You can leave a comment on YouTube if you're watching this video. You can go to the website and leave a comment if you're listening to the podcast. Anybody can go to the website. It is yrchatblog with a B .blogspot.com. Feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you're thinking there. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say this week. So that's it. That's everything. That's all I got for now. But I will definitely be back next week to chat again and pick up where we left off. So I will see you guys next time. Bye. Near, 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 that was stupid.